See, everybody always tells you about how Julius Caesar was by Roman senators, but nobody ever tells you about what happened after. See, Mark Antony, that was Caesar's boy. That was his dog. That was tight. He pulled up to the Senate meeting. He said, the meeting over already? Where's Caesar at? The senator said, we're not going to lie to you, Mark. We just had to slime out Caesar. Mark said, 1, 2, 3. They said, Mark, what you doing? He said, I'm counting how many people I need to get my get back on. And that's when the senators who Caesar had a problem. Mark didn't play about his boy. Now, I want you to take a look at this statue. Look at that statue's neck. Mark was a big man. In fact, Mark was such a problem. They did not want him in the vicinity while they slimed out Caesar. Mark was supposed to be in the room with Caesar, but some senators was distracting him outside because they knew if Mark was in the room, it might not have went the same way. Mark was figuring this all out. At this point, he crashed out. He said, oh, okay. The senator said, we're going to leave you to your thoughts. The senators dip. Mark pulls up to Caesar's adopted son, Octavian. Remember that name? He said, they slimed out our boy. Octavian said, well, let's slime them out then. Octavian and Mark write a list of every senator that got Caesar so they can get them. Somebody pull up to the senator and say, yo, they writing a list about y'all. The senator says, who writing the list? They said, Mark Antony and Octavian. Yeah, they coming to get y'all. The senator said, oh, now the main senators, Cassius and Brutus, they was the masterminds. Brutus was Caesar's dog. Like, he was in Caesar's will. They was tight. He's the one who got Caesar to come outside in the first place so they could slime him out. Mark Antony and Octavian wanted him bad. Brutus said, am I on the list? Messenger said, it look like you at the top. Brutus said, they hear a scream. They look to the left. Senator, gone. They already taken him out. It's already begun. They going down like flies. Cassius looked at Brutus. He said, okay, we not finna get away. We might as well raise an army and just fight back. Brutus said, okay. Bad idea. See, Mark Antony and Octavian, they loved war. That's how they got famous in the first place under Caesar. That boy was a master general. They said, yeah, we've been waiting for this. Brutus and Cassius said, that's not a good sign. Cassius said, come on, Brutus, stop being scary. We could take him. The war starts. Cassius's forces get decimated. In the first wave, Cassius himself, he said, they're not finna catch me. Brutus said, okay, where Cassius at? A messenger said, yeah, Cassius himself. Brutus said, oh, really? Brutus himself. After that, Octavian and Mark Antony wiped out every other senator. Then they split up Rome. They said, you take that side, I take this side. Then they started fighting. Then Mark Antony said, look, why don't I just marry your sister, Octavia? Yeah, Octavian's sister was named Octavia. And then, we stopped fighting from there. Mark Antony married Octavian's sister. But then Mark Antony started cheating on Octavian's sister with none other than Cleopatra. Cleopatra had 3 kids by Mark Antony. Octavian said, not my sister. Octavian raises an army. He said, it's time for war. Mark Antony raises an army too. He said, hello, where the army at? Mark Antony lost badly. He rushes over to Egypt, and Cleopatra, he said, yo, them folk outside, they got me. Cleopatra said, why you come over here then? He said, because they gonna get you too. That boy Octavian all over Rome talking about how you an evil Egyptian who seduced me and Caesar because you was with Caesar too, lest the people forget, and how Egypt is all evil and stuff. Where you think the Americans learn propaganda? Cleopatra said, what's an American? He said, don't worry about all that right now. Focus. Mark Antony raises up a new army in Egypt. He said, I'm finna get my slide back on Octavian. He rallies the troops. He said, everybody, it's our last stand. He lost again, badly. He then himself rather than be captured. So Cleopatra herself as well, so she couldn't be captured. Then all that was left was Octavian. He becomes supreme emperor of Rome. Everybody said, wow, look at that guy. His new name is Augustus. Augustus pulls up. He says, senators, my first decree is you guys get your job back. I'm gonna create a firefighter force, a police force. I'm gonna pave new roads. And in general, he actually does a really good job for Rome. They said, okay, appreciate you. And the irony of it all is the senators, Julius Caesar, because they thought he was becoming too powerful. They didn't want him to become king. They thought that would be bad for Rome. But in the end, they created an emperor, and it was actually a good thing for Rome. It's just a twist of fate.